Welcome to High-End Homes Handled Right. This is the Real Property Management Luxury Podcast, hosted by yours truly, Lyndel Johnson. Today, we have a guest in the building. This guest is someone, or his company is a company that you will probably need if you're actually going to lease your property. His name is Barron Robert. He's from Extraterrestrial Pros. How you doing, Barron?
Great, Lyndel. How about yourself?
Not bad, not bad. And so what Barron does, and what he really concentrates on, is making sure that when your house is ready to go on the market, his team, Extraterrestrial Pros, goes in and does the deep cleaning. Many owners think that part of that make-ready process is something that you can skip. Many people believe you don't really need someone to go and do a clean because they can do it themselves. So, Barron, before we even get into that, tell us about yourself. Tell us about your company.
We specialize in move-in, move-out cleaning. We do deep cleaning. We do commercial cleaning. We like to touch on the basics of things, a lot of things that people miss. We also like to just specialize in leaving things better than the way you found it. So with that being said, you don't need paint. Sometimes you just need someone who knows how to clean.
Got it.
It also saves you money as well.
Wow, that's a great point. So for us, being a property management company, sometimes, we'll go in there and give an estimate, and you're right. Maybe it doesn't need to be, repainted. Maybe it's just that clean that needs to take place. If someone comes up to you, you've given the estimate and you said, okay, it's going to cost, what's the average cost?
Average cost is probably about $100 per 1,000 square feet.
Okay, so it's about $100 per, square foot, right? So if they tell you, hey, I can do this myself, how do you respond to that?
My response is, if you really think you can do it yourself, at the end of the day, people like to save money. I'm not going to say that you can't do it yourself, but a lot of people, when they realize that it's more than what they thought it was, it's like really you get in over your head. You don't understand the actual full details of a deep cleaning.
Right.
Some people just think, oh, I'll just sweep and just mop and that'll be just it. No, that's not it. It's the basics. And those things normally just go untouched.
Right.
The blinds, the vents, the window sills. It's the necessities that people normally miss. The corners with the cobwebs.
Right.
These are the things that people they overlook.
Okay.
And sometimes I wouldn't even say overlook. Sometimes they just don't catch it at all. With that being said, so when they do say that with me, I'll say, okay, well, do you have like a list of everything that needs to be touched, everything needs to be clean? Have you spoken to a realtor and see all the things that they look for when they come in, when they bring a person in to view the home? These are the things on a list that, people normally miss. So, if you're going to do that, at least let me recommend a list for you that you need to clean. And then once they see that list, they're like, oh, maybe you should do it yourself.
I've actually taken prospects to different homes. If a prospect say, for example, I need a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and I just don't happen to have it on my portfolio, and I end up finding one for them. We go in, we open the door, we walk through. When they look around and they see, wow, it doesn't look that clean and it doesn't smell good, 99% of the time, they're going to say, I don't want this property. I don't want to rent here. It could be perfect, could fit their need, could be in a beautiful, this great area, great development, and it's by a great school. Mm-hmm. But guess what? They walked in, it didn't smell right, didn't look right, and they didn't want to rent there. So it's a real thing. And especially if you're telling me that the cost isn't that bad, once you go in there, you're working hard. It takes you about how many hours?
About 2 hours.
2 hours. That's you being an expert.
Right.
That's you knowing what to do. And 2 hours. How long do you think it would take if, let's say, I did it?
Probably 4.
So you're multiplying that by 2. So now it's 4 hours. I probably haven't done it, to a good enough level.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, the house is on the market too long. And that's a real thing. That happens often. Something else that I've noticed, with that make ready clean is there are a lot of companies also that do not really pay attention to detail. So if you're hiring a company, you need to go and you need to do your due diligence, go through after they're done and make sure that's the company you want to work with. Because, for, someone that does a make ready clean like you do, you're going to get that property before the tenant moves in. You're going to get that property again when they move out, because you have to do another make ready when that tenant moves out, and you're going to have to put somebody back in. So it's a relationship. So although there may be so many in the neighborhood, find a company that's they're about excellence. It's not about how fast they can do it or just making sure that it is done correctly. And that is something I could say with the homes that you have. They are beyond reproach. Do you have people that work for you also?
We're a family-owned business.
Okay.
So it's me, my wife, my mother-in-law, my sister whenever she comes into town. But, I also have like a few other people on standby that are, close, like I consider them family. So
how do you keep everyone on that same level?
Just communication, and people know that you have to look at it as if it's your own. If something's dirty of your own, you're uncomfortable about it. Right, so why would you not treat it as if it's your own? So, because if you're not comfortable with how you cleaned it, then obviously they're not going to be comfortable with it either. But then it's also someone who knows, what to clean and how to clean. Some people really don't know how to clean. Cleaning is an art. It really is an art to cleaning. It's not just, let me just wipe this off. No. Sometimes you have a method of even wiping a window. You're supposed to go up and down. You're not supposed to go left and right.
Huh.
If you go left and right, you come back and see the window, somebody's going to be like, oh, somebody tried to clean the window, because they're going to see the streaks of left and right.
Professionalism.
You go up and down,
yeah,
you don't see no streaks.
Wow.
But a lot of people, they don't know that. There's certain tools you can use when cleaning, like showers and baths. So, there's so many things they create nowadays. You don't have to use as much elbow grease, is what I call it.
Right.
They have like drills now, with sponges and Brillo pads on them. You can spray some of that stuff, the stuff that gets rid of a little soap scum. And you come back with that drill and just, instead of, using all that energy, you know what I mean? So it's also about working smart instead of working hard.
Right.
So it's just things people just have to do their own due diligence and research. Those who clean companies.
Right.
It's just a smarter way now. We're in a different wave of things. People are creating new things. They're creating new strategies. It's just a lot of things you can look into. And then it's also, you can save your money doing a lot of home remedy cleaning. Like, for example, Dawn apple cider vinegar.
Okay.
Baking soda.
Huh. What does that create?
You can use that stuff at home.
Okay.
Spray your shower. The same thing like you do with some of that stuff you buy at the store.
Right.
Same method. Leave it on there for 10 minutes. Come back. Wipe it right off.
Interesting.
It's actually stronger. Another remedy, for example, is like a baking soda, apple cider vinegar into the toilet for those water stains.
Right.
Pour a little bit of that in there. You hear it.
Okay.
It's like sucking the dirt off the rim.
Interesting.
Hit it with a toilet scrubber. Gone.
I already can imagine what your answer to this is, but I had an owner. Mm-hmm. And she came to me and said, I'm considering doing, a full clean halfway through my renter's lease. So at the 6-month mark, we're going to do a full clean. Do you see owners doing that, or would you recommend that? Because to me, I think that when she said that to me, I thought, yeah, I like it. I could see why you would want to do that. It allows you to clean the property, but it also allows you to go in there and see what that property is like.
Yeah.
Without having to wait to the last, month of the lease or they're out. So I could see that. But what do you think about that from the cleaning aspect?
I think it's actually a pretty good idea because you're going to find out two things. You're going to find out what type of person is actually living in your property.
Right.
And actually how clean and dirty they really are. You normally don't find out when people move right in. It's normally pretty standard, pretty clean, Yeah. But after, 30 days, 60, 90 days, then you kind of start to see the real results. But 6 months, you really get to see something. Dust, things like that add up really quick over time. Especially, just for example, if you don't really dust your vents in your home, your house will get dusty really fast.
Right.
So a lot of people don't really know that because, you wonder why if it's dust on your fans, dust like accumulates in a really rapidly time. It's because you don't dust your vents and you don't change your air filters. At
Real Property Management Luxury, we send filters to all our renters, but you can't really force them to put them up. But we hope that once with the new filters that you get to put it in. But that's a great point. So if the filters are dirty, that's probably the reason why you see dust build up in the fans. As I say that as I look up.
And then what people don't understand is like that dust like holds the germs. As we get closer to winter, people get sick.
Right.
Germs accumulate. Viruses. Dust holds that. So if you don't change like your vents or your filters in your home, it's like that same germ like keeps resurfacing.
Yeah, right.
Like, man, I'm not around nobody, or but it doesn't take much for a little bit of dust to come down. And
yeah, they could say, hey, I work from home, I don't leave, why am I still
with
sick?
Those same virus germs is still floating. Just a fun fact, because they think, dust doesn't do no harm, but it really actually does.
There's been so many times where, we do walk through homes and, do our inspections, and we walk around and you see like dust everywhere. And, but, not trying to scare you as an owner, but, that's why it's good to hire a professional property management company, because then, they'll then hire professionals to do these services for you, and they've seen things. They probably have seen things that you probably may not have seen. Especially like if this is your first home that you're going to rent out, you may not know these things. So if you can get a cleaning company to go in and to do what they're best at, it would only help you in the long run. Your house is probably going to rent faster, and once that family moves into your house and it smells good and it looks good, they're going to feel good and they're going to start that lease on a good foot.
Exactly.
But let's just say they move from out of town. They're moving from another state. They get there late at night and they open the door and they're expecting to be happy and excited about where they're living, and they turn on and they see cobwebs everywhere and they see bugs on the ground and they see scuff marks on the wall. How are they going to feel about that?
Very disgruntled.
And the rest of that 12-month lease, you're going to hear it.
Yeah.
Because no matter how good of a service that you provide, they're going to go back to
how it started
and how they felt when you moved in. So they're going to be like, oh my God, this is like what kind of property management company is this? Or what kind of owner is this? This is like a slumlord. I just moved here from California to Texas. And then all of a sudden I walk in and, my kids are tired. I'm tired. I walk in and now I'm going to have to, before the furniture gets here, I'm going to have to clean. Then they decide to do it themselves. And it's still not to a level that someone like you would have done. So if you don't get anything from this, this episode of the podcast, please take this. If you can get a professional cleaner, do so. Once again, this is Lyndel from High End Homes Handled Right. the Real Property Manager Luxury Podcast, and I'm here with Mr. Barron Robert from Extraterrestrial Pros. Man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming out
Thank you for having me.
to coming out for this episode. I invite you to come into many more episodes because we have more to talk about.
Absolutely.
And other ventures that you do.
Yeah.
But it's been fun, and looking forward to the next time.
Appreciate you.
All right, anytime.